Hello, hello. Hello, hello, hello. Welcome back, everyone. Welcome back. Welcome back, welcome back. Hello. How's everybody doing? Hello. Mace Martinez said, hi, hello. Welcome. Welcome back. Welcome back, everyone. I'm Will Awake, of course, and welcome to our long-running Vanilla Survival Bedrock Edition realm. Welcome. How's everybody doing? How are you all doing? Happy, what day is it? Monday? Happy Monday. Mondays, am I right? Welcome, everyone. Welcome, welcome. We are here. We're hanging out on our, on the at the very center of our spaceship storage system. It is not sorting anything at the moment because the last time I was here, we sorted a bunch of stuff out. Hello. Hello, hello, hello. How's everybody doing? Welcome back. Just gonna be a chill stream today. Just gonna be a chill stream. I did set super chat goal, 1 super chat, first super chat, and we will explore any area of this world that you want to see. So take advantage of that opportunity if you'd like. No pressure, of course. We're just here to hang out. We're just here to have fun. Hey, welcome everyone. Welcome. So last time, we were in an ancient city for a while. We're not going back today. Don't worry. We're not going back today. The last 2 streams, we spent a fair amount of time dug deep into an ancient city. And unfortunately, we did not get the smithing templates that we were hoping we would get. But alas, what can you do? Sometimes the luck just doesn't work out your way. I got very lucky with the smithing templates in the end cities, so I really can't complain. I'll get the ancient city ones eventually, whether we do it on stream or I just do it and grind it out and just explore a ton of those things. I don't know. We'll have to see how it goes. But I'm not going to bother doing that today. Today we're just going to be hanging out. Some exciting news though. I did put out a video today, a long form video. Check it out. First of the year. First of the year. It's called The Spider Hole. Check it out. If you are not deathly afraid of spiders, check it out. There are no images of real spiders, but there is a Minecraft spider. And that is pretty scary in its own right. So check it out. I am not a fan of spiders personally. So part of the reason I'm doing a spider build is to conquer my spider fears. But today we're just going to be hanging out. We're just going to be going around and exploring some stuff and checking out, you know, just seeing what needs to be done around the world. Nothing too crazy. I dumped all my stuff from our ancient city adventuring in here. This is kind of the end of the line right now. All this junk. Oh gosh, all this junk. We did get another Skulk Catalyst, which is pretty cool. That is going to come in handy for something. Maybe someday I'll make a Warden farm. Who knows? Who knows if we'll ever actually get there. But I can clear out some of this junk. One of the things that I've been doing with this storage system is kind of trying to slowly work my way in. I have this trash chest here. I have a bunch of these in the floor, and they're actually trapped chests, meaning I can put stuff in and I get a chance to double check before it actually trashes them. It won't throw any of the stuff away until I let go. But there it goes. Burns it up. We check again, the trash will be empty. I think that's pretty fun. Also, a fun thing you can do in Bedrock Edition is just use these little character escape codes to make like colors and bold text. Anywhere you can type text, really. So that's kind of a fun thing too. How's everybody doing? How is everybody doing? I know it's Monday. Nobody wants to be... Nobody likes Mondays, and I can relate to that as well. I'm going to dump some of these potions. I don't really need them. But the other thing I've been doing is trying to slowly move my way into this system. And so every once in a while, I put something in here that doesn't really have a slot yet. Like, for instance, stone brick walls. Like, that's definitely something that we should be able to sort into our stone area. So if we check out this area, right, this unit right here is our stone chest, or our stone shulker box. And you can see stone bricks, for instance, that stuff kind of goes here. And the way I've kind of been doing it is anything that doesn't fit into one of the shulker boxes directly will go into some chests on either side. And so in this case, I have potion stuff here just because I needed somewhere to put it, but I'll eventually move all that potion stuff out. You can see we also have like some random leftover stone stuff in here. So I'll add the stone wall in as an item that goes here. And hopefully that will get me one step closer to eventually moving everything in here. Because the idea is to not have any overflow at all, right? I want to just have every item eventually have a slot that I can get filtered into here. So that's the end goal. That's where we're headed someday, hopefully. This is a very basic categorizer setup. You can see the fact that all my placeholder items are named Brent is just kind of a stupid inside joke that makes no sense. But I can replace one of those with the stone brick wall. And now any stone brick walls that I dumped into the system should go into this chest here. And honestly, maybe now might be a good time to try and take all this potion stuff out of here, because it doesn't make sense to have that in there. So I'll just grab a shulker box, or I'll just grab some of this stuff out and start to clear this out a little bit, because this is really not for this anymore. This is just going to be kind of a going around, maybe doing some chores type of stuff, maybe just seeing what needs to be done and doing that. So let's do something like this so we know there's like stone things here. And I'll take out everything that's not a stone adjacent item and just move them into shulker boxes over here. We don't really have a permanent place yet for our potion ingredients. Eventually, they'll be in the cyan shulker box over there. I think that'll probably be the plan. So for now, I'll just throw them in a shulker box and we won't have to deal with them or worry about them for a little bit. So many spider eyes. I do not need these. How's everybody doing? How's everybody's Monday going? I am doing again. We've got the... Oh, there's my pumpkin head. Again, we've got both the horizontal live and the vertical live going here at the same time. They are separate videos. YouTube claims that eventually, hopefully, we'll be able to have a unified chat, but for now, they're separate. So if you're on the vertical and you'd rather be on the full screen, widescreen, check the channel. It should be there, or vice versa. There is a format that is best for you if you are looking for something different. But thank you so much for joining. I hope everyone's having a great day. Like I said, this is just going to be pretty chill. We're just hanging out in the world. No real ambitions. I've been spending a lot of time on editing. Obviously put out a video today. I do hope everybody checks it out if you're interested. If you're interested in seeing one of my most ambitious current projects, take a look at the video I put out today. It's called The Spider Hole. We're digging a big spider hole. But I got to play around with building some organic sculptures. In particular, one giant organic sculpture. Can you guess what it might be? So if you're interested in that at all, take a look. Check it out. Maybe you'll enjoy it. But for now, just going to be hanging around, like I said. I haven't really been doing too much in this world other than what I've been doing on stream. Like I said, I've just been editing a fair amount. So we'll go around today and kind of see what we have in terms of ongoing projects, see if there's anything that I haven't really talked about much that might be interesting to take a look at. But, you know, it's just going to be a pretty chill day, you know. When it's, you know, Monday back to work, back to school, I'm sure you can relate. Though maybe some people had a snow day today. I know that certain areas of the eastern US got a lot of snow today. So if you're in one of those areas and you had a snow day, I hope that you have had a wonderful day, a wonderful fun day, free of too much stress or work or anything along those lines. I don't think deep slate is supposed to go in here. That seems, oh no, I guess that's right. But the diorite's definitely not supposed to go in there. What's up with that? Sometimes this system gets a little messed up. Yeah, like diorite and stuff, that should be over here, shouldn't it? You'd think so. I might have messed this up at some point. I might have just like put the stuff in the wrong slice. I know this is probably pretty stimulating to watch me organize my storage system. Hey, Great Dolan. You did watch the spider hole video today. Thank you for watching it. I hope you enjoyed it. I tried something out a little bit new with that video. I did a little bit of like the background music myself. I thought that would be kind of fun. You know, I'm not certainly not a professional. It maybe didn't come out exactly the way I might have wanted, but I thought it was still pretty fun, and hopefully it came across. I'm not a fan of spiders, and it was perfectly creepy. I'm glad to hear that. That's what I was going for. Just a little bit creepy, but also, you know, it's Minecraft after all. Okay, so deep slate and cobble deep slate. Those should have gone into the slate box. I'm wondering if something got messed up here. The system is like pretty good. It's like quite reliable, but there's like a couple things where every once in a while I run into some issues, and I'm not entirely sure why. But let's try dumping in this stuff and see where it goes. Not this though. That's my placeholder item. I definitely don't want to put that in there. We dump all this stuff in, and I'll mute the music for a second so we can hear the little jingle that the storage system makes. Hopefully you can hear it. It does look like most of the stuff is going into the slot it's supposed to, so yeah, maybe that was just some weird fluke thing, or maybe I shoved some stuff in there. I'm not entirely sure why. So it goes sometimes. What can you do? Things just end up in weird places. I think actually I probably pulled that stuff out when I was like trying to test out the shulker box refill behavior or something. But anyway, something I want to do right now that I don't always do on stream, maybe haven't shown, is how I actually swap out all my boxes. And I've shown it a little bit, but basically, let's get a fresh shulker box to fill up this empty slot here. And then, so now what I can do, since I have all these different replacement shulker boxes, is I can go over to an ender chest and pull out the first 4. And then from here, I can basically just go up to each little slice, pop the one that's in the ceiling, place the new one in, and you can see the stuff that's in there. It starts refilling, and I've got a fresh box that's full of everything back ready to go, right? So I can do that just like 4 times for each slice, or for each, you know, side of this machine. And this is how I replenish all my boxes and make sure that I'm always fully stocked up on all my stuff. I don't have every single box planned out. I have at least the first 3 here. Basics, stone, and slate, those are all planned out. Utility box, I don't actually have done yet, so I don't have anything to swap out there. But then we could do, you know, the next slice, for instance. I can replenish all my wood. And this is what I like to do when I come to the spaceship and after I've dumped everything in here. All right, looks like this one was already, I hadn't really used that one. But sometimes I like to, it's just, you know, I like to just kind of do it mindlessly and not worry about it. Yeah, see here, the redstone stuff, I used a little bit of redstone stuff, so that one's refilling. Orange. Yeah, I actually do have an orange box, don't I? Yeah, this is, I think I called it brick. Yes, my orange and brick and clay type things. And then last one over here is all my light sources. That's the yellow box. I guess, yeah, I'd used a couple sea lanterns there. So those can all go back in, for instance. And then last one, these 4 boxes, I haven't done at all. So I don't really even need to worry about that whole side. And does this one? Okay, no, this one I haven't done yet either. I still need to figure out how to do this, like a bunch of different seeds and various plant life and fruits and vegetables and stuff like that. But my nature box, which is the dark green one, this one is pretty much set in stone at this point. It's all the different types of dirt or moss and stuff, and all the different saplings, and then plenty of bone meal, bone blocks, so that I can grow any trees that I might need to grow. What I don't have, which I kind of regret a little bit, is leaves in a box. I just have like my leaves as an overflow item in this slice here on the side. And that's okay for now because I don't really use many leaves in my builds. But I probably should use more leaves in my builds because I feel like it's a aspect of building, especially building terraforming and just like natural or ruined stuff that I really don't use to its full potential. And there's probably some missed opportunities there. So I don't know. Maybe I'll have to rethink the leave stuff a little bit. The other thing is, it's kind of tough with stuff that you always need a lot of quantity, like massive quantities of. So I don't know. I also can just grow trees and harvest the leaves if I need to, because I have all the saplings in here. So that's kind of the trade-offs. Trying to fit everything into, 16 shulker boxes. Like, you have to make some trade-offs. And one of the trade-offs that I made was that I would keep saplings instead of leaves, so I could actually grow the trees and potentially get leaves from that. I don't know. I'm just winging it. My goat, thank you for saying that. I appreciate it, Dan. Welcome. Appreciate you joining. All right, so we're all stocked up. We're all fresh, ready to go. We have our shulker boxes looking good. One thing I noticed is I'm out of rockets here. I should probably make more. I don't think I have sugarcane here. So I'll try to remember to bring some rockets next time I come here, but I probably won't remember. All right, let's pop through the end fountain here, head back out to the quote-unquote real world. And yeah, okay, we just end up at spawn, because I think last time I was at a bed at the ancient city, and I broke that bed so that I would just take the quick route home. And it's raining, of course, which is always a delight for streaming. Definitely doesn't make the video quality look bad at all. Well, we get a nice rainy day. Can barely see the outline of the castle in the distance because of the rain. It's kind of cool, though. It's kind of foreboding. I don't love that this big field over here feels so bright and green. Not to mention the giant jungle in the distance back there, but there's not too much I can do about that. Like, this view is pretty cool. Something I've been trying to think a lot more about, like, views and sight lines and where I can have these opportunities to have, like, a painting, This is something that a lot of the hermits, particularly B-dubs and Mumbo, have been thinking about more is framing and just like having a viewpoint where, things look great. And I've been trying to think about that a little bit more. I do like this tree with the crossroads, the different signs going in different directions. We have the older signs, which are the darker wood, and then maybe a newer sign that's a lighter wood, heading off to the portal that's newly refurbished. We can check out that portal. There's the silhouette of the castle just loading in the distance. It is somewhat peaceful in the rain. Can't complain too bad. Oh, an arrow. Who was trying to shoot at me here? One thing I actually don't love is the little bits of dirt peeking through here. And I think I'm going to try to fix some of those. I'm just going to, if I see little things that I want to mess with as we're going around today, I'm going to just try and fix them. B-dubs is the OG. Watching him draw something, then build it is really cool. Yeah, I totally agree. B-dubs is that was wrong. B-dubs is my favorite hermit to watch. He's a genius. I love all of them. I love watching, I watch pretty much all the hermits, but B-dubs is, it's kind of a drop everything and watch B-dubs when he comes out with a new video. The way he levels up what's possible in vanilla Minecraft building is just insane. It's so cool. All right, we'll use a stone brick for that. Right, I don't like having the little bits of dirt peeking through. I'd rather have stone go all the way down. So I always like to try to do that, but I guess I got lazy when I was building this staircase initially. Like, here's another cool spot potentially for a view, right? Like, this is, I wish it weren't raining. Unfortunately, it's morning. It's going to be raining for a while. But this could be a cool spot for a view. I don't know what should be off in the distance there, especially when it's raining. You can't see anything. And then, yeah, here's the world gate, a name that I stole from RuneScape. But here's the world gate, the main, quote unquote, main nether portal. In reality, oh yeah, I did do this one little effect here. for this giant nether portal, I wanted to make it look like you could kind of get a preview of what you're going to see when you go through, when you come up to the portal. So you can see, you get a little bit of the netherrack, you get a little bit of like a tiny little landscape or something in the distance. And it's not exactly up to date with what I've done in here since, but you can kind of see it's the same thing. That's kind of what I was going for. I don't think I did it in this direction. Yeah, no, I didn't. But here I have a bunch of hoglins and minecarts and not much else. My ambitions for this area are to have a big chamber with a bunch of like, I don't even know what you call them, like scaffolding, kind of like winding pathways and stuff, and just a bunch of piglin bartering in here. And the idea would be you could come in and drop in a ton of gold, and all the piglins all around here would just start bartering, and then all the drops from that would go into some item collection somewhere. I have a lot of thoughts on the lore for this part of the world, but I just haven't spent a ton of time working on it yet. And then the idea is you'd be able to come out through here into this crimson forest, and this little valley right here would be kind of the piglins' main little settlement. And so like that's where they trade with me when I come through, but here is where they actually live, is the idea. Hello, Nashri, welcome. So we'll head back out into the overworld for now, though I like being in the nether because it's not raining. I wish I could sleep it away. I wish that there were a way to get rid of the rain in the daytime. That'd be good. Or summon the rain, or summon a thunderstorm. You know, I've seen mod packs that do that on, I don't know if it's on Hermitcraft or something. I saw some series where they had some way to summon a thunderstorm, which I thought was pretty cool. And there it is, in the rain. The castle starts to come in through the fog. Speaking of vantage points, here is another area that I definitely need to finish decorating. At least the backside of these factory buildings. The fronts of them look pretty good. The fronts face inward. But from this vantage point right now, it obviously looks super unfinished. So I have some thoughts about what I want to do there. And I also have an idea to have like a path that comes underneath this bridge and goes out that way to the beach that's down there. But I have so many plans. I have so many ambitions for this world. We'll see if we can, we'll see how long it takes us to get to any of them. There's a reason this realm is called the 40-year world. I do expect to be working on it for a very long time. Man, I wish it weren't raining. It's so annoying. All right, well, what can we do that's indoors? I should at least get inside. Here's our little guy bringing our gold to the piglin traders. That's the idea, at least. Right, he's going that way with the gold. We have some carts coming back with the things that the piglin barterers? The piglin barterers actually are willing to barter. That stuff comes back. So this is like a little trade path. You can see just a little bit of detail with like some gravel to make it look like maybe this thing was rolling along here and tracking some dirt or gravel or something. Just little details. I haven't really done the rest of it though, which I need to do. I haven't quite figured out what I want it to look like. I'm probably overthinking it though. Here's another view vantage point that I want to look nice and does not look particularly nice at the moment, especially in the rain. Well, let's check out the spider cave, because now that I have finally released that video, which I've been working on for way too long, now that I finally released that, I am a little bit less hesitant to go check out that area on stream. So let's check it out. I can talk a little bit about next steps there. And also, it'll be nice to get out of the rain. So I don't really have a great path to get from here there yet. But generally, it's up here. And this entrance obviously needs a lot of love. I had to open the entrance out really big to fit a happy ghast in there. And not too much has changed here, except obviously we've got the giant spider down there now. But I'm kind of curious to see, like, if I actually go in here with like full gear, everything except a totem, and I'll bring my shears, because why not? I'll bring my shears, but I'll unequip the totem. If I go in here with full gear, how many cobwebs can I get? I have to imagine it's going to be pretty much infinite with netherite gear. But so this is the whole pathway. This will all be a tunnel, obviously, a spooky tunnel that gets more and more progressively like stony and dug into the earth. And eventually maybe right around here is going to be like another little camp where the last people who tried to come into the spider cave all set up their camp, but they perished. And so you'll come around here. There's the spider. Something I said in the video, which is definitely true, is that it needs more contrast against the background. I think it looked really good when I first put it in against the stone background, especially with the light gray. I can't remember. Yeah, I think I used light gray stained glass. I used a lot of light gray stained glass to pull out little bits of the walls that I used to make this. And the light gray blended in really well when the background was fully stone. But then once I added in the deep slate and the tuff and the glow lichen and all that, you kind of lose this definition of the spider. And I think that it needs a little bit more contrast, which is part of the reason I want to put a spider web here that it's like sitting on, kind of. And it's, you know, it'll still have a big gap so you can jump down the hole. But just, you know, some strands like this, maybe a big clump. And I'm imagining that it'll just be a ton of cobwebs, kind of looking like a clump. But then the white behind the black spider should help it pop a little bit. And then I'm thinking I may need to change the color of some of this stained glass to either be like white if it's in front of the cobweb, or maybe like dark gray or even black if it ends up staying in front of the darker background that's the deep slate or the stone or the tuff. I'm not entirely sure, but I do think that you could see the spider better when it was on a lighter background. And so I think I want to try to create that artificially again by putting some cobwebs in here just to create that contrast and that definition. We also obviously don't have this spawner activator right now. This thing would be raining spiders down on my head is the idea. Who knows how many we'll actually get. It's also very bright in here. It'll be dark. It'll be moody. And I think that'll be even all the more reason that I need cobwebs to help the spider pop out a little bit. Because if it's dark and moody in here, you really won't be able to see it too easily. But yeah, this is the hole. I think the hole itself looks pretty great. The other thing that I was thinking, I put in these webs down here that you fall through as you're falling into the spider hole. But I realized I just did like a flat, solid layer, you know, a little circle of webs. And that's not what it should look like, right? Like it should be more stringy, maybe a bunch of strands going across in different directions. And it's okay if you don't always get stuck in every web perfectly. Like as long as it's pretty likely that you're going to get stuck in some webs going down to give that spawner some time to spawn spiders, that's fine. I put these webs in to force it to spawn some, but I think this just doesn't look super realistic. And I think there's opportunities for a little bit more detail, a little bit more texture in here, just by having the webs be more stringy and strandy and just add some visual interest. And also make it like maybe even a little bit of a game where you're kind of trying to dodge some webs on your way down, trying to hit as few as you can to get down there as quick as possible or something. You know, the more webs you get stuck in theory, the more spiders there will be spawned down there. But here we go. We're going to fall down. I'm going to try to like kill as many spiders as I can and collect as many webs as I can. Oh my gosh, we got a spider. We got a jockey. That's kind of scary. I hadn't really considered that because he's shooting at me now. It's all right though. I mean, I'll be able to tank it and then I'll just take him out of my way down. Come on, here we go. Hey, oh, I missed. All right, I'm poisoned. Let's take these spiders out. They got me stuck in their webs. All right, so I can get some of these webs. Oh, and here come more spiders. They're all getting the, oh, don't go up there. They're all getting the weaving potion effect, which means when I kill them, they're going to create more webs. Perfect. And that's because we have a skulk sensor behind the wall here that's detecting when spiders spawn and splashing a weaving potion into the middle of this room. That makes it so that all the spiders get it, in theory at least. And also I get it, which is kind of funny. Okay, so I cleared that pretty easily. So I think I'm gonna have to keep playtesting this and figure out like what the best level of gear to have is. See now, like kill those spiders, get more webs and stuff. I'm not sure exactly what the best level of gear to have will be. Clearly having full netherite is like too much, it seems. So I'm gonna take all my armor off and see how far I get with nothing. Here we go, more spiders, more webs. They're still pretty easy to take out, I would say. Though, if more of them had spawned before I fell down, and especially if I took some fall damage, then this would probably be a lot trickier. But as it stands, yeah, like when you're just down here waiting for more to spawn, it's a little bit like uninteresting. And I don't know what the best solution to that is other than make it a quicker and more frantic and more stressful experience that's over sooner. Because that is kind of the problem with any spawner is they just don't spawn that fast, you know? When you're just standing there waiting for a spawner to spawn, it takes a while. You know, and this is just a single cave spider spawner. I liked this one because it's below the normal spider spawner, which means that this is a perfect like spider themed area. But, you know, it's not exactly as productive as having like 2 or 3 cave spider spawners all in the same area would be. So that's kind of the trade-off that I made. All right, I'll let these guys kill me. All my stuff goes everywhere, but hopefully it'll all get picked up. And I'm just going to sit here on the respawn screen until we see that happen, just to make completely sure that it does. The thing is, because there's cobwebs everywhere, all the stuff gets stuck in the cobwebs and doesn't get picked up right away. And so the spiders actually do keep spawning, also because I guess I'm still like technically standing here, even though I'm dead, but it looks like everything got picked up. So I get respawned up here, and then there comes all that stuff. It all landed in either mud or path blocks, which of course their hitboxes are shorter than a full block, which means hoppers underneath them can pick them up. And so we got hoppers picking it all up, piping it all into this system, and all our items come back in here at about 2 times hopper speed, which is, you know, not too bad for something like this. I think ideally we'll end up having, you know, whether it's just this barrel or something else, like you basically want to come in here and leave most of your stuff and probably just pick up like the shears and like, you know, maybe a couple other things. I'll have to do some balance testing, but I'm kind of leaning towards like no gear is good. I'm just wondering if like maybe some feather falling, leather boots or something would be good to like give the player before they go down there. Because I don't want necessarily you to like lose all of your health just to that fall, that like final fall at the end there. Like I'd rather have the spiders come and attack you and kill you. And I want it to be possible to get some cobwebs, because that is kind of the point. Like in theory, this is supposed to be a cobweb farm also. It's just supposed to be like a fun one. And 34 cobwebs, I don't know if there were some in here before. There might have been. I'm not 100% sure. I can't remember if I checked this barrel before. But 34 cobwebs just from that is like pretty good. Maybe there were some more in there before, but I'm not sure. So pretty cool. I'm pretty happy with this. Finishing that video and getting that video out has inspired me to keep working on this. I've had that video hanging over my head since I like actually built the spider, which was probably like last summer at this point. It just took me a while to get the editing going. Hey, welcome. So we're just sitting here waiting for the rest of this stuff to come in. I can start to re-equip my inventory a bit, or just reorganize my inventory a bit rather. Put the shears back. I guess I should probably go replenish my fortune pick because it's running a little low there. I was just like, oh, why did I get my stone box out? And right, it's because I was fixing up those details on the path. That makes sense. I'll pop that back in here as well. Yeah, so that worked pretty well. What do I do? I do torches, then food, then rockets. I think that's how I organize things generally. There may have been some stuff in here already. Not that it really matters. Cool. And there's all my stuff. And I guess I don't have any ender pearls. I thought I usually carry some ender pearls on me. Like right there. Or maybe there. I can't remember. I can't remember how I organize my stuff. All right, so let's get out of here. And I can actually just go through this little walkway right here. And this is kind of a shortcut out. So I think I'll probably make like a wimp exit or something like they have at amusement parks, where if you make it all the way to here, but you decide you don't want to actually go down and have the full experience, you can escape out this way. And this just leads back into like the part of the base that's under the castle, which is very stony. It's a lot of stone here. But I do think this giant Star Wars style shaft of laser light is pretty cool. It's like a little bit outside the style of the rest of the base. And I actually struggled with this for a while because this was one of the first things I built. Before I built the castle or anything, I was like, oh, I want a giant tube with a bunch of beacons around it. And like, this will be where all my items go up. And right, like I can just, in theory, I can just dump items in here and they will actually go. I never use these chests very often, but this stuff will actually go all the way up to the main storage system, which is like the floor above us. But before I built the castle or anything, I had this idea to have this like big laser shaft here. It almost looks like, you know, the thing that the Emperor gets thrown down at the end of Star Wars or something. But then like we decided to build this castle and it doesn't quite fit in. And I struggled with this for a while because even in terms of like technology in this world, that's so much more advanced than anything in here. Like even in the castle, if I sneak in through this little snow pile here and then push this secret button to open this secret door, this leads out into the laboratory, which the vampires who used to live here maybe built this, right? But it's very steampunk, right? We have like copper cogs and stuff, and you know, this door has these copper gears or whatever these things are called to close it up. At least that's what it's supposed to look like. So it's like cool. It's like, you know, there's some technology here, but it's very much steampunk, ancient kind of vibe. And if you compare that to how do I get there? The much more futuristic look of this big glowing tube here, right? It's like, it's a little bit different. And I struggled for a long time with how do I reconcile this? Like, how do I fit these together? And you may say that the answer is they just don't fit together, and that'd be valid. But instead what I did was I just made one room at the very bottom of this giant shaft of light where I'm imagining that this giant laser beam system thing is all being powered by this like pump thing. I don't know, it's like an engine or like a reactor, and that's like powering this whole area. And to make the lore all fit together, I try to make it so that like maybe there's some old versions of this reactor that were made with like the copper steampunk style. But then maybe I like was experimenting with different copper stuff and maybe started to learn about how I could use quartz and iron to fit things in. And then you can see, you know, I realized that we could actually create new, more powerful, better cogs out of this material. And that's kind of the idea. The progression kind of went that way. And that has made me feel better about it. Like, at least I can wrap my head around it. Like, okay, so this was our room where we were experimenting with it. We figured out a way to make it more powerful and more futuristic. And so far, we're only powering this tube with that system. The one thing that is wrong about this, though, is that these copper lightning rods have aged. So let me fix those, because they used to all be the fully unoxidized version. So this is one of these chores that we got to do. So while we're here, let's adjust these a little bit. And I think for this one that's coming out of that, I think the full unoxidized probably makes the most sense because that's supposed to be like quite new. And I think I want that to be like that as well because it's like coming out of a nice new unoxidized one into this, and that's just supposed to show, you know, we realized that we could make those cogs out of this more resilient quartz material or something. But for this one back here, maybe I'll do that level of oxidation. I think that looks pretty good. It's nice that we get more colors to play with now. Hello, Antho, welcome. And then over here, a little bit trickier. I do have a little bit of the green over here, but I think I'm gonna go that level for this because this one is supposed to be an old out of commission one that's back there unused, so it probably would be a little bit rusty. Whereas this one in the middle obviously is the fully working, fully modern version. So that's kind of where we're at with that. It is funny. I keep finding more lightning rods around that I need to wax. Like I keep forgetting various places where I didn't even know I had them. But yeah, so that's that little room. We can check out this floor while we're here. There's a couple farms down here, and these were farms that I set up really early in this world and then just eventually went back and tried to decorate a little bit. And so this little, I don't know, I've been trying to make these little like moments, these little like areas that look cool and kind of communicate what's in the area. And so when you come down here from the elevator, you'd kind of come out this way and you can see at a glance, like, oh, if I want to go to the skeleton farm to get, you know, bones or bows or arrows, maybe I go down that way. But if I want to go to the slime farm, right, then I go down that way. And for this stuff, you know, I don't like first of all, what I'm able to do with armor stands in a Bedrock realm is limited. This is a survival realm, achievements enabled, cheats off. So we're talking resource packs only. And so what I have are invisible armor stands and invisible item frames, but I'm still limited to, I have to be able to like pose the armor stands, you know, in using the in-game like posing mechanics, and I can push them around with pistons and stuff to get them perfectly positioned. And so that's what this is. This is just an armor stand, which you can probably see, right? If I hold shift and right click to change the pose of this invisible armor stand, you could see the bow goes flying around. And there's like one position where it looks like it's perfectly hanging on that thing there. And I'm not even sure, is that it? Yeah, I think that must have been it. Just want to make sure it's the perfect one. Oh, I missed it. See, so it's a little bit silly. And there we go. Hanging up again, wonderful. And then these on the ground are just in invisible item frames. And that is like, invisible item frames are the best because being able to just like take any item and just like put it laying on the ground is so fun. And it's so much better and more valuable than actually having the item frame texture available to me. So I don't mind at all having a resource pack that just has invisible item frames across the board. You know, it's a little bit more limited. Like I can't like place an item frame, have it be visible, and then trigger a command or something like they do in Hermitcraft. It's simpler than that. It's just a resource pack that makes them all invisible. And same with the armor stands. And same with this bone sticking out. That's an armor stand holding a bone perfectly into that thing somehow. But we could check out the skeleton farm. Though I guess first we can, you see I put a pickaxe sticking out of the wall here. And that's to show that this is my strip mine from the like pre 1.18 days when strip mining was worth doing. Now, not so much. But that was my strip mine that if you make a copy of this world and like look at it in spectator mode or something, the strip mine, like I strip mined so much at the start of this world. It's crazy. Oh, more pipes that need to be, oh, I got to scrape some of that rust off of there. Oh my gosh. Like I said, I keep finding more of these. There's like so many that I didn't even remember ever doing. All right, so let's get these at least to this level. Or like maybe the one coming out of the ceiling can be like a little bit rusted. I don't know. I'm not sold. I think I kind of like it more like that. But then the thing is, this acacia, I guess I should turn on this blender here. Oh, the trident is gone. That tends to happen. There was a bug for a while where tridents were just disappearing. So this mob grinder is not really working. But I think, I don't know. I think because this acacia wood is so bright compared to this, I want to have either this or this be a little bit more oxidized. Or non-oxidized, I guess. And I think I want this one to be like that as well. I don't know, I'm conflicted. I kind of like that. I'm not sure. I'm thinking maybe I want to oxidize or scrape this one off too, but I'm not 100% convinced. I'll leave it like this for now. All right, let's wax all these. Beautiful. We got a skull here, of course, to let us know that there's skeletons in there. It's so sad that they don't have, there's no trident in there. I wonder if the trident is down here somewhere. Seems like probably not. Did I lose my... I lost the minecart. Okay. Yeah, I must have lost the trident somehow that's supposed to be here. So this mob grinder's not working. What I should do, because I'm supposed to be just fixing things when I see them broken, is I should probably go get another trident and put it in there. That being said, I don't really use this too much anymore. I used to use it to get a lot of bones for bone meal, but now I have a moss farm, which gives me so much more bone meal than I will ever need. So I really don't need it anymore. So we're just accumulating these guys. I do like this. Like this is using tinted glass, which blocks light, obviously. So being able to actually see into the spawning chamber, I think is pretty neat. Right, you can see them come down. I mean, it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool how many skeletons you get. And then, of course, giant bones sticking out of the wall just to make this place feel even more bony. Even bonier. I like it. It's simple. All the drops from those guys go down into these chests where we have like arrows and bones, and then all the miscellaneous junk that also gets dumped down here with them. I use this probably mostly now just to get bows for dispensers, but I also set this up where these chests are built so that if they fill up, they'll just start to empty themselves. So the system can't really ever overflow. And then this one, it has the same thing, but then you can also just manually dump it out and just dump everything that's in here, because a lot of it is just junk. You don't really need it usually. Let's head back out of here. I suspect I'll find more lightning rods that are oxidizing along the way, but I'll put my stuff away for now so we stay organized. See you, skeletons. You got lucky this time, all right? But I got my eyes on you. So back out the other way, obviously, is the slime that we were looking at. This is, again, just... There's an armor stand holding this slime block positioned somewhere around here. I guess it's just from the hitboxes. Yeah, it must be like right around here, pushed up against this, holding that. And then these, again, are just little slime blocks in invisible item frames on the floor. And I think it's really cool how much detail, how much like little visual interest and like character you can give an area just with a couple of those. It really doesn't take a lot. And, you know, unlike the fancy armor stand mod that they have in Hermitcraft and all that, like, I can't resize the items. I can't like position them that granularly. Like I'm really just stuck to where an armor stand that's invisible can be holding this thing without you seeing it. And I think that is just enough of a constraint for me that it forces me to be a little bit creative with it and also not overuse the armor stand stuff. Because I like this place to be vanilla ultimately. And so just couple little things to make it more interesting, I find fun. And so yeah, down here is our big slime lake. It's, you know, I guess it's more of a pond. It's not huge, but I think it looks pretty good. We got plenty of slime balls coming out of some tube in the ceiling. I think if I were to do this again, I would make the ceiling a little bit less flat. This is an issue I have in a lot of these builds. It's like pretty flat ceilings. But this is like a bunch of layers of slime farm right above this, right? I think if we break this, we can see we have the first layer of the slime farm right above this, and it goes all the way up here. And the slime farm, all these slimes, we'll see there's a iron golem behind the minecart chest there. So the slimes, as you can see, it just happened. The slimes will see that and try to jump in and then fall to their doom and land on those magma blocks down there. And then there's just like a hopper minecart going back and forth underneath that collects all that and puts it into our shulker box right here. Something I could add potentially to this now is a crafter that automatically compacts these into slime blocks. Not a bad idea. I don't know how much space we have back here. Actually, I have no clue how much space there is. Yeah, like it's probably just hoppers going right in. But there might be, maybe there's a way to fit in a tiny little crafter system. Because this thing is probably, okay, it's not as backed up as I thought it might have been. But it would be cool to have this thing actually be making slime blocks instead of slime balls. And that's like the simplest crafter circuit that there is, so it should be easy enough. But something else I like about this room is just like the little details of like another pipe coming out of the wall here and like slime pouring out of that. And then this one is my favorite one by far, because look at that. You see those drops coming out of there? Little slime drops. How cool is that? Of course, they stopped as soon as I started looking closely. But look at that. Look at those drops coming out of there. Isn't that awesome? And that's just an effect of a spore blossom. You get these green drops coming out, falling down directly from the spore blossom. And when you're standing up here, you can't tell that there's a flower in there. It just looks like this super cool effect of these kind of slime drops. I think it's really cool. And then, of course, because we have a spore blossom there as well, we also have these green particles floating around, which makes this room feel nice and slimy. And then, of course, another slime pipe just dumping slime in from the ceiling, because why not? We're using the glass trick here, of course, the multiple layers of glass to make this look like it's a deep, slimy pool. And I think it's pretty cool. And that's pretty much like the ground floor of this part of the base. If we take the elevators, can we go down? What do I even have? Oh, right. Yeah, I have a lush cave down here. This was the first lush cave I ever found. And it's like, it's kind of a pathetic one. This was like the first cave I found after they lowered the world. So that must have been, I guess that was 1.18, right? And so they lowered the world, and then, of course, my elevators, which had gone down to that level before, could now go deeper. And turned out there was a lush cave right here. And I don't think I have any real use for this. I wanted this to be a place where axolotls could spawn. And I think in theory, they should spawn in there, but they don't. And I'm not sure why. I don't know if they need more space or if I just like am not standing at the right distance ever. But it would be nice to have a way to get axolotls. And then what's back here? We're going to remember all this stuff and discover it together. Oh yeah, this is just a cool big cave I found back here. Yeah, this place is actually huge. And there's like a geode sticking out of the ceiling. I don't know. Let me know if you have any ideas on what to do in this place. It's kind of cool. It's kind of like a bat cave vibes. Could be interesting. It's like big waterfall. Yeah, it's a cool spot. I have no idea what to do here. None. Let me know if you have any ideas. Otherwise, we'll head back up. Though I think actually the elevator maybe does go even further down now too. I haven't been down here and looked at this stuff in a while. I'm so used to my speed beacon. I was just like, wait, did I run out of food? I slowed down over there. These elevators too, I'm pretty proud of. It's like, it's such a simple little design. And this is the absolute worst floor to be trying to show it off. So let me go to a different one here. Right, but here's kind of the basic elevator design that I use. And unfortunately, I had to turn off the fancy bubbles I don't know. Ever since they changed Minecraft Bedrock Edition from a like UWP to a GDK app or something, the textures and the performance have been inconsistent, to say the least. And like I have to restart the game like 3 times on average just to get the textures to show up correctly. I don't know what the deal is with that. I don't know if there's some cache I need to clear somewhere. I would love to not have to do that every time. But I've also found that turning off or like leaving off the fancy bubbles helps as well for some reason. I don't know. But anyway, yeah, this is my little elevator design. I have these all throughout the castle. And it's a super simple design where if you go in, you can see there's string there, and that's kind of the simple way to go in and drop down, and then to go up. I guess let me pick a different one that's like on a more used floor. So here's kind of like a more trafficked floor. And so you can see I have like a little button here. Let me turn player names on. Right, you can see we have a little down button. So if I right click this, then I'll go down to the next floor. And some of the up elevators have the same thing. But I also, once they added skulk sensors, I went in and I added skulk sensors around these things too. So now, like, if I want to go down, I can actually just walk in and a skulk sensor detects that and drops me right down. So that's kind of nice. Didn't happen again, of course. I think you should do a rickety goblin lair down in that cave with wooden bridges, suspended huts, and industry. It's something I've always wanted to build but never got around to. That's a really cool idea. That's a really cool idea. Who was it? I think was it Fwip in Empire Season 2 who did a whole like goblin kingdom? That was super cool. That would be that would be a fun thing to try to do, like even a fraction of something as cool as that. But I always want more ideas for like roller coasters and stuff. Because I have one roller coaster in this world that's over here, up in this part of the castle. Right, this leads out towards the industrial area. And again, like this is very unfinished, as you can see, but we're starting to get there. We're starting to get there. There's a lot to do. But this part I think is kind of cool. And I want to build, the idea is that this is supposed to be an airship hangar, right? We have like a big airship up there. You can't really see it. But I like the idea of this being an airship hangar. But there's also a crane. I think the crane design is pretty good. I worry that some of this is like a little too sprucey. I might try to add some. Oh, they also, did they change this? I'm not sure if I have the new texture for the stripped spruce yet. I remember that people were stressed about that change. But this is one of the roller coasters that I aspire to make in this world, right? You can see the airship there. I want to, Happy Gast is like my my little airship guy. I want to make another hot air balloon in the sky, maybe some more launching going off that way. But this is one of the roller coasters, the Backyard Bard Attack. And this one's pretty fun. And the idea of like having a goblin cave with like a very super rickety like goblin mineshaft roller coaster, almost something like the, what is it, the Hobbit, right? Like with the or no, maybe I'm thinking of Harry Potter. I can't remember. There's like, I know there's like that big goblin guy in one of those. And like a bunch of rickety mine carts and stuff in a goblin area. That could be really cool. And it would feel different than this one, right? Like this roller coaster kind of just like goes around and explores a bunch of areas of the castle. Like there's a little well poking through there. Here's our underground prison, which for some reason I'm getting a lighting glitch here. So let me log out and back in, because this is supposed to be way darker. Oh, and that may have broken some of my textures. We'll see. You'll be able to see my issues that I'm always having. Come on now. You should try to build a theme park. Yeah, I think like something that I've been trying to do is just like building in like rides and like entertaining things into the areas of this world. Yeah, you can see look at that. What is this? Why do I have a green circle over my pickaxe, over my axe? I don't know what the deal is with the textures in this game. They all broke ever since they did the game migration. All right, let's see if this actually works. Yeah, so here's like my underground like prison cell and like a vault, gold vault back there. Cool roller coaster. I like it. Control the speed. Thank you. I appreciate that. It's fun to try to figure out what you can do to make it feel fun, you know? Like not always have powered rails, like not always be going full speed, but every once in a while be going a little bit slower. Like here, oh, whoo, and like some jumps and stuff. I think this is pretty fun. Ahoy, mate, what you up to? We're just hanging out. Just hanging out in our vanilla survival bedrock realm here. Right now, I'm just riding this roller coaster as it takes us through some areas of my base. Oh. Sound effects? All right, we got some sound effects. I don't know if you all heard that, but there is some TNT explosions that you can hear. And then, oh, there goes that minecart going that way. It's pretty fun. Up here's another like little attraction. We get this guy coming at you and it's a jump scare, but he doesn't actually get you. I remember when you had 600 subs. Hey, Eric, how's it going? Good to see you. I remember you being there when I had 600 subs. Oh, and there's a creepy zombie face in the corner. It is fun to just ride the roller coaster sometimes. I don't know why the textures in my hotbar got broken. All I did was log out and back in, and now of course they're all messed up. That's how it tends to go sometimes. And then we got like this underwater part where you come splashing out of the water. Oh, is that guy gonna ruin my roller coaster? Managed to avoid him. Oh, he hit a spear. That's kind of cool. Another one where you jump out. Some coral. You know, I tried to decorate it, and then you like go into an amethyst geode. Ooh. How cool is that? And then we go up, and this is actually going up my water tower that you saw before. And then you come out the top of the water tower, and you go all the way down here. And then it looks like you're going to go straight, but then you drop into this little water trough. Lots of fun little things. I think that it would be really cool to have like a goblin cave down there with like a much more like jumps and like rickety, like, you know, parts where the roller coaster like drops you really far down and you think you're going to like fall into a giant abyss or something, but instead, you know, you just happen to make it onto another part of the roller coaster or something. Oh, there's our ship. What a beautiful view. What a beautiful view. And here we are going down. This is a fun part because you come this way and fall down, but then when you go back over it the other way, you just make it and get to actually go back across the other way. I think that's pretty fun. I had a lot of fun with this roller coaster. I still want to do more up there, but I'm not exactly sure what to do. I love my dogs. Hey, welcome. You've grown a lot. Yeah, I know. It's crazy. It's crazy that I went from that I ever, you know, like when I had 500 subs, I was really excited about that. And I thought it was a lot. And now 10,000 is pretty wild. Pretty wild. And so, yeah, there it is. There's the roller coaster. My hotbar is still messed up. Hopefully that's all right. If we start to see any weird textures anywhere else in the world, I'll probably try to fix it. But as long as it's just the hotbar, I don't mind it too much. Yeah. I don't really know what to do today. There's like a couple things, and also I'm not going to stream for too long. It's just going to be a quick one today. So probably won't be around too much longer, but there's a couple of things that are really bugging me. And I'm wondering if any redstone geniuses in the comments or in the chat here, why are my items coming out? This is exactly the problem that I have that I don't know how to resolve. And it is driving me crazy, and it's making it so that I can't work more in this area the way that I want it to, because these item filters are not working correctly, and it is truly driving me insane. Basically, this is supposed to be an item categorizer for a copper golem. And I have this item filter here, which is just a super simple, it's just a basic item filter where I want to get like a better view of it. right? Like, this is just the normal thing where you have a chest, comparator coming out of it, and then the comparator is going into these blocks, which have dust, dust, dust. This one's on glass, so those torches underneath shouldn't be powering it. This is just like a classic. This is like such a basic thing. I don't understand why it's not working or why it keeps messing up like this. But right, you can see this layer is basically just a normal item filter. Right? Chest, comparator, into a solid block, redstone dust going down, 3 levels long, solid block torch, torch going into glass, so this isn't powering that, and then repeater. Now, these, and that's just locking the hopper underneath it. This is a very basic item filter design that I use everywhere in this world. I mean, usually I'm using it on like a hopper instead of a chest, right? But here, for some reason, I don't know what it is. It's like when I leave the area and come back, this hopper under here must briefly be unpowered. And it doesn't make any sense because there's nothing going in these chests, right? Like this thing, like this chest, for instance, needs way more items before this dust is going to hit level 3 and actually unpower that hopper to pull stuff out. But for some reason, when I like leave the area and come back, or like when I log out and log back in, there's something happening where like that hopper is briefly unpowered. It's unpowered long enough to pull in an item. And the problem is when an item gets pulled in from that system, it tries to spit it out of this dropper because the idea is that you'll have a shulker box here and it'll go into the shulker box. And so I keep coming over here and having items just sitting, floating here, like a single item from each slice. And I have no clue why it's happening because it should not be happening because this torch is powered. Does anybody know? Does anybody understand my pain here? Maybe like I should use a different item filter design or something. Maybe you built it on chunk border. That's what I would have thought. That's what I would have thought. But this whole thing is perfectly inside a single chunk. Like I'm pretty sure that literally this is the border. Like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Oh. Now that's an interesting question. Because the chunk is 16, right? But I thought this is supposed to be the exact center. So if this was the exact center, it would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh. Maybe? Is it possible that maybe just this last line is outside the border? And so it doesn't know if these torches should be powered or not? That could be it. I mean, if that's, is my math right? Because a chunk is 16 by 16, right? So 1, 2, if this is the exact center, that would mean we go out 8 blocks this way, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah. So this must be right outside the chunk border. That could be it. That could be it. It definitely looks like a bug. Yeah, I agree. Dude, that's the best roller coaster I've ever seen. Genuinely inspired. Got to build one in my forever world. I'm so glad that you're inspired, and thank you for saying that. I had a lot of fun making that. And there's still more I want to add to it. And I also just want to make like more different roller coasters in different places, just so that I can do all my different roller coaster ideas. And it's like a fun way to like, I think it's nice to have like something fun to go do in different areas to just get you to go back to them. You know what I mean? All right. So that seems like a contender. Maybe it is a chunk border issue. Where did I get this from? Oh no. It was probably just like that, right? How do I get out of here? Yeah, I don't know. Maybe it must be something like that. It must be like, because these blocks maybe aren't loaded. If this chunk loads without those, first for a split second. Maybe it doesn't know if these torches should be powered or not. And so they default to unpowered, but that seems crazy too, because you'd think, right? Like redstone torch should default to being powered. And it's not like the redstone dust here is actually powering them, and that's not what's loading, you know? But the fact that it is potentially on a chunk border like that does seem suspicious. So that's a good shout. Maybe you built it on chunk border and the hoppers. Yeah, right. Have you got a good copper golem system for Bedrock? Well, this is the one. I thought this was going to be it, but there's this issue. So I think maybe I might have to try to redesign this to somehow have it all be within a chunk, but I don't know how. I don't know how I'm going to do that. Or I don't know, maybe I have to make some kind of fail-safe system in that like tries to keep those hoppers powered. I mean, honestly, like the dumb way to do it maybe would be like an on-off switch or something, where like maybe I could have the hoppers be powered somehow by some external circuit and have like a lever. And just like when I come here and want to use this system, I have to like turn off the lever to make sure that the hoppers will work properly. I hope it doesn't come to that. Like it seems like a bug. Do I still have the 599 sub special cake? That's a funny question. Like probably. It's probably in the Great Hall. Let's go check it out. What are you doing? Just hanging out. Just hanging out in our vanilla survival Bedrock Edition realm here. And while it's nighttime, oh, it's raining again. Are you kidding me? Well, let's just take a look at the spooky abandoned village in the darkness and the rain, because that looks pretty cool. Look how weird that is. I go back here and it's snow. I go here and it's just rain. Snow, rain, snow, rain, snow, rain. Man, Minecraft's so weird sometimes. It's funny because it's like here it's also snow. It's just like this one block right on the corner where it's rain. That's funny. But I guess that means we'll get to see it raining inside the Great Hall, which is kind of fun. It's so pathetic. It just looks like a leaky ceiling. It used to be nice and snowy and look cool. I think if I go up to the top, if I go up to the top level, then it'll be snow. Yeah, that looks a bit cooler. I'm not sure. I might have like a minimal rain particles resource pack on too, like unobtrusive rain or something. So that probably is making it a little bit less majestic than it would be otherwise. All right, so do I still have my 599 subscriber cake? I do. There it is. That's crazy. This is my 599 subscriber cake. And I'm at 10,000 now. Crazy. It's insane. Thank you all. Seriously. It's very exciting to have so many people who are enjoying this place, you know, as much as I do. Because I love this place. It's like it's my home away from home. You know, it's my castle. It's my fantasy land. I was also thinking, I don't know, maybe this is crazy. I had the idea that it might be funny to make a video about these stupid copper pipe angles because they're the bane of my existence, the fact that they broke my little lever trick that I used to use here. So I kind of want to just like play around in creative and like try to figure out what the best way is to make a good looking 90-degree angle pipe for every possible direction of pipe using nothing but like invisible armor stands and stuff that exists in the game and like, you know, nothing non-vanilla. I don't know if that'd be interesting to anybody other than me, but I've been ranting about having lost those 90-degree pipes for a while, so maybe I'll have to do it. Hello, welcome. Yeah, it's our Great Hall. I guess since it's raining, I'll go upstairs and take a nap in my nice castle bedroom. And I'll take the scenic route up there, looking out over the main hall. Wonderful. I guess the Great Hall is what I call it, technically. And here's the throne room. I think the throne room's so cool. I think this thing is out of potions. There's supposed to be... Yeah, there's supposed to be a bunch of fire resistance potions in here. because I have this blaze defense system. But right now, I think they'll all just shoot at me. Yep. Okay. Yep. Yep. Definitely, they're shooting at me. Don't light my throne on fire, please. But in theory, if someone were standing here and petitioning me, and I turned that on, then the blazes would all just converge their fire charges on the person standing in front of me. Time to get a map to check. If that's about the buggy copper golem thing, there's a structure file of that system in the description of the like Industrial Revolution video. If anybody wants to take that structure file and figure out how to fix my problem, that'd be awesome. But it probably is. I think people are right. Like it probably is related to the chunk borders somehow, because of course it would be, right? How do I get to my bedroom? Okay, I'm gonna go up here. And one more level. Oh yeah, I could go across here. This is another area. Okay, I'm looking for ideas from you all, because I have this room, which I think this room like looks pretty cool by itself. It's just kind of just decorative. There's like, you know, some different plants and stuff in the middle and like this interesting glowy tree thing. The idea is like maybe, I don't know, I call this the alchemist's quarters, or the archmage quarters. I don't know. It's based on another Skyrim screenshot that my friend sent to me. But I don't know what to do with this area. And right now it's way too bright in here. But I have these little areas where you can climb up this ladder up to here. And then I have this little room, which I currently have nothing in and nothing to do with. And then if you jump over here, you can catch this ladder and go over to another room that's like the exact same size. What should I build here? I have no idea what to do here. And so I've just left this half of this room just fully unbuilt this whole time. To hear about the Minecraft age verification? I don't know anything about that. I wouldn't be surprised. Everybody's trying to get everybody to verify their age these days. I think also, did I make this or not? I think if I go down here, there's like a little hole. Yeah. Okay, that didn't really work. But it's supposed to drop me down here. Ooh, this room I don't use anymore. This was actually like my V1, you could call it, of the kind of etho-inspired shulker box system that I now use. And now it's fully powered by the spaceship. But this was the first version. And I was actually pretty proud of myself for taking etho's shulker box idea, where the idea is you have 5 different hoppers all pointing into the same shulker box at once. So you can load in 25 different items to a single shulker box. But I built a little bit of a redstone system on top of that made it so that it wouldn't break if you ran out of items, and you'd actually get an indicator light that would like turn on if you were out of something. So this was kind of the first version of what ended up becoming the whole spaceship's storage system. But right now it's unused, and I just it just sits in the ceiling, and I've just fully blocked off these zones. But I used to have a few shulker boxes here, but now I've blocked this off and I've replaced it with the spaceship storage system. But this thing, this is another thing where I thought this would be more useful than it actually turned out to be. Like, I thought that I would be wanting to decide what to smelt or not smelt a lot more than I actually need to ever. So I was like, oh yeah, I'm going to build this whole super smelter, and it's going to have all these levers. And so like whenever you put something in the system, it goes into this big super smelter that's back here, but it'll only actually smelt the stuff if that lever is turned on for that specific item. And I thought that was so cool at the time. And I still do think it's cool, but it's also just kind of like pointless, right? Like, I don't think I've ever turned off the levers for food. Like, why would I ever not want to cook the food automatically? I also don't really eat any of this anymore at all anyway. So it's like, almost half the system being taken up with automatically smelting different food items that I never even eat anymore. And nobody talk about the cod, okay? Nobody talk about the cod. And same with this stuff. It's like, okay, I don't really need, like, you know, if I want to smelt cactus, I mean, I guess like these are probably the ones I use more. And I guess I'm automatically smelting sand into glass right now, which is kind of funny. Do you have a room for the alchemist to study? I'm guessing they'd be doing lots of research and reading, maybe stores for their materials, maybe interesting ingredients from fantasy animals. Yeah, that's a cool idea. Like maybe that like up lofted area could be like the alchemist's like little study room or something. And then maybe the second room that's over to the side could have like a bunch more ingredients and stuff, like maybe rarer or like the, you know, the more dangerous magical ingredients or something. There is actually, there's, oh, I better sleep before. Oh, I missed my chance to sleep through the rain. That is so annoying. There's a room that I don't think I've ever actually shown on stream. So I'll show that, but I got to wait till the rain stops for that. Do you ever think about adding add-ons to your world? Short answer, no. A lot of the fun that I get out of this world is pushing the limits of what's possible in vanilla. And another reason for that is I do this all in a realm and I have cheats off and I have achievements enabled. And it's important to me to be able to keep getting those achievements, especially as they come out with new features and new achievements and stuff. So, you know, I don't know if you know about Bedrock Edition, but if you add any like behavior packs, that disables achievements. So I'm for now not interested in that. Do you have a library? I sure do. I sure do have a library. I have a big library. And that's actually, there's probably more interesting things I could do in this library. But yeah, here's the library. It's kind of maze-like. I did a bunch of bookshelves, and I do use Bedrock Tweaks. A couple of resource packs from Bedrock Tweaks, and one of them is like the variation packs for various vanilla textures. So you can see like these bookshelves have a little bit of variation between them, which makes a room like this look way better than it would if it was just fully repeated all the way through. But then the other thing that I did was put looms backwards in here, because the back of the loom texture looks a lot like an empty bookshelf. And this was before they actually added chiseled bookshelves. So something that I could do in this area is try to add some chiseled bookshelves in with like some actual books, you know, or just to break it up and have more variety in here. I think that'd be pretty cool. But the one thing that I have in here that I really like is this little, if you go up to this ladder, there's like a little bit of a very basic little parkour thing here where you can jump across here. And if you hit both of these pressure plates in quick enough succession and then go all the way across over here, you can see that a little secret opening opened up right there. And this leads down to the enchanting table. And it's meant to look like it's right underneath the library, and like some of the bookshelves have almost in a magic way kind of come down and are surrounding the enchanting table down here. I'm a big fan of this, even though I never use it. I never use this because I have all the villagers for all the different books I would ever need, but I think it's really cool. And I did a little bit of the black glass thing here just to make this area look cool. You can put potions in cauldrons on Bedrock. That's true. That would look great in an alchemist lab. He could be sucking elixir from a caged pet, very vampiric. Ooh. Yeah, I forgot that you could put potions in cauldrons, and then you can tip arrows, right? Like, I don't think I've ever done that. But I think you can, right? You can use arrows in a cauldron and it'll turn them into those tipped arrows. I'm not sure if you can do that or if I'm imagining that. Either way, that would be super cool if it's possible. Even texture packs. Texture packs do not. Resource packs that only change the textures do not remove your ability to get achievements. So I have some resource packs. So like, you know, the kind of bookshelf variation one I was mentioning, I also have invisible item frames and invisible armor stands because that just allows a lot more fun customization of where objects can be placed. But it doesn't actually change the behavior of armor stands or item frames at all. This is another little fun thing. This, I'm annoyed that my hotbar has those weird textures, but whatever. This is my little anvil station. So when I come here and use this anvil to repair stuff, when it eventually breaks, I just get a new one right away. I think that's just so satisfying to me. And then I have this little place back here that's just like a queue of anvils. It's almost like a magazine of anvils going down and coming out. And I can always just put new ones in there to replenish the stock. And that way, if I'm using the anvil and it breaks, I don't have to go like, oh, my anvil broke. I need a new one. Nope, just get a new one right away. You should 100% try out Conquest texture pack on your world if it's so much. Hey, I'll try, I like to play around with more dramatic resource pack changes every once in a while. Like usually not like 100% of the time, but just to go around and explore and see what things look like with a little bit of a different texture. Sometimes I enjoy doing that. Okay, the sun is shining. It is no longer a dreary day. So I'm going to show one more thing and then I'll probably call it a stream. And that is at the very tippity top of this tallest tower on the right wing of the castle, there's a little bit of a secret. And what that is you can see a little crack at the roof here. And if we fly in, this is my wizard's tower room or something. It's my Merlin wizard tower room, which is thematically maybe a little bit similar to the alchemist quarters idea that we were talking about. But this is kind of inspired by like the sword and the stone, like the Merlin stuff from that. I always loved that. The idea of like a super tall tower that has just like a wizard living out of it and it's all chaotic and messy. And I just threw a bunch of bookshelves around here. This was just one of those things that I did because I had a bunch of extra space in the top of this tower because there's nothing in any of these cones really. And I just decided to throw a little room in here. And you can see, I used to have like some end crystals in here. I must have moved them somewhere else. But this I think is a cool effect. I have just like a cauldron that's been dyed purple, but then underneath it, secretly, there's an ender chest. And so every once in a while, when you're around here, hopefully, you get these purple particle effects because of the ender chest under there. And I think it just adds like a nice little detail that I think is pretty cool. And then I can just look out over my castle, over my kingdom, hang out in my little wizard's room. The one problem with this place, one time I slept up here and then I went off and did something and like died and respawned up here. And I was just caught in a death loop because there's no way to get down here other than just jumping. And so I actually did eventually do the powdered snow trick right there on that one little spot, just so that if I ever accidentally set my spawn up there, I have a way to get down safely. That's one of those lessons that you only learn one time. Hey, Will, love the content you make. It always gives me extra inspiration for my own forever world. Thanks so much for saying that. I'm glad to inspire you. How large is your world? Do you ever try to explore less chunks to keep the world size smaller? That's a great question. I think when you have a forever world, you have to just get in the habit of occasionally pruning the file down a little bit by deleting chunks that you don't have anything built in. And that's something that I've had to do in this world a handful of times. I usually try to do it when there's like a big update that, any update that's going to like change biomes or like add new stuff. For instance, like when they added Pale Gardens, I wanted to make sure that like I had the opportunity to get some new Pale Gardens in like certain areas of the world. So I will go in, because I'm playing Bedrock, I use a tool called Amulet for that. I think it actually does work for Java 2. Don't quote me on that. But Amulet is the tool that I use. I also use Unmind to just view my world. So I recommend both of those tools. If you've seen the map, which is not that, which is available at, I guess if you're on the vertical, you can't see this. Sorry about that. But if you go to Willawake, that's WILLAWA.KE, or you could just go to willawake.com. It'll take you to the same place. There is a map of the world, and all of those map tiles were generated with this program called Unmind. So huge shout out to Unmind for that. So I'll use that to like figure out what the areas that I want to make sure I preserve are. And then I'll go into Amulet and delete a bunch of chunks so that when I update and start the world fresh in a new update or something, like it'll just regenerate all those chunks that you delete using Amulet. So my world is probably like somewhere in the 150 megabyte range. I'm not entirely sure. I try to keep it relatively small. But no, when it comes to, do I ever try to explore less chunks? Like, no, like I try to just play the game. There's always cleanup you can do after the fact to keep it down in terms of file size. And sometimes you just have to do stuff like that. For this world, it's kind of tricky because I started this world before the 1.18 world generation change. So I have to be a little bit careful when I'm deleting chunks, because if I delete chunks that were pre 1.18 generation, then it'll get a little funky when I reload those chunks later. So there's like a certain area, especially around the castle, that I just like don't touch too much. You ever get chunk border issues in places? I noticed it on mine in a few places after using Amulet, and drives me crazy. Yeah, it happens. I mean, there's like a couple of those around here. I think there's like one over here where you can see like yeah, like something, there's some stuff over here where there's like weird caves that maybe don't fully belong, but I do think they've kind of improved it. Yeah, here's another one. This one's kind of crazy, where there's a pond that just fully stops. But frankly, like I try to keep that stuff, I try to not prune too close to my builds. That's far enough away that if I ever want to do anything over there, I could just clean it up by hand and that'd be fine. But yeah, I get that. I do think they've improved it a little bit. Like right after 1.18 came out, it was kind of rough. I've lost a few worlds to file corruption. I'm sorry to hear that. Yeah, that's really frustrating. I make so many backups of this world. I pretty much, like, whenever I do anything, I make a backup of it. And I have, I don't know if you've seen my video, we're moving to space. I talk a little bit about my first Minecraft world, which was a creative world on Java Edition. And on that one, I accidentally lost it when I changed computers over and hadn't adequately backed it up. And that was absolutely devastating. Not looking for new people to join the realm at this point. I appreciate your interest, but also continuing to ask is not going to be a great way to get me to engage with that. What are those arrows on your water elevator? Oh yeah, good question. Here, let me go take a look at that. Where's my front door? All right, so I assume you're talking about these arrows. This is, I'm actually pretty proud of this trick. So these are fence gates here, open fence gates, and then this is an invisible item frame, and this is actually just a quartz stair. It's a quartz stair that I rotated to look like an arrow going up or down. I started my world in 2013. It's moved from Legacy to Bedrock to Java. There's so many chunk border issues. I've just accepted they're part of the history of the world. Yeah, I understand that. I think that's the thing. Like, it's you kind of have to just accept it. Like, you have to accept it, or you have to start a new world with every new update, And for me, like, the benefits of having a long running forever world that I could be adding to over years and years, like, far outweighs the little chunk issues that I get from time to time. And the thing about Minecraft, you can change everything, right? If something's messed up, you can fix it manually. Obviously, you don't always want to. Sometimes they're pretty bad or pretty egregious, but you can fix them if you want. There's one place, which I'm not going to show right now because it's pretty far away, but there's one place where the the world height change only happened in certain chunks. So there's like, if you go down below like Y0, you start to see like some chunks go all the way down to -64, but other chunks stop at 0. And so you can actually access the void from those chunks that go all the way down because they don't have bedrock on the sides, right? It's super weird. It's very trippy, and it's kind of a cool area. And like, I want to do something interesting with it eventually. But that's one of those things where like one of these chunk generation errors actually ended up creating something kind of unique. But it's also not very vanilla, so it's not like something I'd want to lean too far into, but it's a kind of a cool thing. All right. The sun is rising. Thank you all so much for joining me. I'm going to call it a stream here, but I appreciate everyone for coming and hanging out with me in our realm today. I hope you've seen something inspiring, something interesting, and you know, I'll be around. Check out the spider video I posted today if you haven't seen it. I'm pretty proud of it. I was working on it for quite some time. A lot of the building from that I did like several months ago at this point. So I've just been trying to get my act together to get the video edited. So check it out. It just went out today. Also, sometime soon, hopefully in the next like week-ish, going to put another redstone tutorial out. This time, get excited. It's going to be for the automated shulker box unloader system that I have right here. Another pretty cool design, I think. Stay tuned for that tutorial. Should be coming very soon. And thanks for joining. Hope everybody enjoys it. And see you next time. Bye, everybody.